You wake up, and the first thing you do is reach for your phone. Before you even get out of bed, a flood of emails, texts, and social media notifications pours directly into your mind. The second you start thinking about your demanding boss or your dwindling bank account, you are actively wiring your brain back into the past. Your body immediately responds. Your heart rate ticks up, your chest tightens with anxiety, and frustration sets in, all while you are still lying under the covers. By starting your morning steeped in the emotions of the past, you guarantee that your tomorrow will be nothing more than a rerun of your yesterday. This chart outlines the brain's internal signaling. Every time you have a thought, your brain instantly triggers a chemical release. That chemical travels throughout your body, creating a very specific physical feeling or emotion. The cycle then feeds on itself. The moment you feel that emotion, it drives your brain to generate more thoughts that perfectly match that exact feeling. Repeat this loop enough times, and the neurons in your brain fire and wire together, locking those sequences into hardwired, automatic habits. The primary drivers of this biological trap are the hormones of stress, specifically cortisol and adrenaline. When you are chronically exposed to these stress hormones day after day, your body actually becomes physically addicted to its own negative emotions. Your body begins to crave that familiar chemical rush, actively fighting your conscious mind just to keep experiencing the same stress. When the body becomes the mind through this chemical dependence, your conscious intentions take a backseat to an automated subconscious script. But there is a biological loophole. The human brain cannot distinguish between a real event happening in the outside world and a vividly imagined event happening entirely in your mind. Researchers at Harvard University tested this by taking the group of volunteers and splitting them in half. One group physically practiced a piano exercise for 2 hours a day, while the other group only imagined playing it, keeping their fingers completely still. Look at this cross-section comparison of the participants' brains. The group that only visualized playing the piano grew the exact same neural pathways as the group that physically practiced the instrument. A similar Cleveland Clinic study applied this to muscle growth. Volunteers used intense mental visualization to imagine flexing their bicep. Without lifting a single weight, subjects who mentally rehearsed the action increased actual muscle mass by 13.5%. When paired with intense focus, thought alone physically rebuilds your neural networks and biological tissue ahead of any real-world event. This brings us to the science of epigenetics, the study of how our behaviors and environment cause changes that affect the way our genes work. It proves our genetic destiny is not locked. The mechanism is entirely chemical. Our emotions act as the messengers, telling our genes to either turn on or switch off based on our internal state. Consider a patient named Anna. Following severe personal trauma, her chronic stress downregulated her healthy genes, resulting in total immune collapse and cancer. The inverse is also possible. If chronic stress creates disease, actively sustaining elevated emotions, like joy, inspiration, and gratitude, can upregulate new genes designed specifically for healing. You are not at the mercy of your DNA. Your body is essentially a biological 3D printer, taking its direct manufacturing orders from your emotional state. This is why meditation is physically difficult. When you sit down to focus, your body will actively fight you, craving its usual chemical fix of stress and distraction. To win this fight, you have to force your attention away from your identity, your daily schedule, and every single object in your outer world. This chart illustrates the measurable neurological shift. You move the brain out of the high-alert, chaotic state of beta brainwaves and slow it down into the relaxed internal states of alpha and theta. By slowing your brainwaves and detaching your focus from the physical world, you become nobody in no time, officially breaking your biological bond to the past. To prove this process works at scale, researchers conducted a clinical trial during an advanced 4-day workshop in Tacoma, Washington. The parameters were simple. Subjects had to sustain an elevated emotion, like gratitude or joy, for just 10 minutes a day. The scientific team tracked a biological marker called IgA, a powerful protein that serves as the body's primary internal immune defense. This bar chart tracks the IgA immune protein levels. In just 4 days, the subject's IgA levels shot up by nearly 50%. These subjects physically upgraded their immune systems because their bodies began to function as if they were in a completely new environment, despite zero changes occurring in their external lives. Your body follows your focus. You are essentially directing your biological resources toward whatever you choose to dwell on. The conditions of your life are often a physical mirror of your internal focus, reinforcing a cycle that stays fixed until that focus shifts. When you anchor yourself in the present moment, you stop siphoning your vital energy into a familiar past or a predictable future. By mastering the biological time loop and successfully priming your body for a new destiny, you have gained the ability to create a physical state that defies your current circumstances.